say May 1st, June 1st, or after the thaw, especially after the thaw, this comes into play. There's a logistics to timing your experience on snow, because when the snow gets soft, you post-hole equals bad experience. It's miserable. You're wallowing and floundering and yelling and screaming and cursing, and it's a bad deal, and your back gets jarred because every time you suddenly pop through, you know, you're popping through your knees, your hips, and it's your foot hits the boulders and your ankles get twisted, and sometimes your leg slides beside a granite rock all the way down, and you lacerate the inside or outside of your leg. It's miserable. So you might want to come this way a bit. Your two things that talk about logistics and how to plan your traveling through the Sierra has to do with creek crossings and your passes. For creek crossings, you don't want to cross them in the afternoon, because all of the snow upstream has been melting all morning, flowing down this creek and causing the creek to rise. So therefore, you're no longer crossing it knee deep, now you're crossing mid-thigh. The deeper it is, the more push against your body, and the more the chance that you might get pushed over and be swept down the creek. So you want to cross in the morning when there's less volume flow, less push against your body. Yeah, it's going to be cold. Yeah, your feet and your legs are going to go numb. But that's just the way it is. It's one of the things that makes you the mountain man or mountain woman or whatever that you're out there to become. You're learning how to be savvy in these austere, extreme environments. That's part of the Pacific Crest Trail hike. So, where do you camp? You camp on the creek. Spend the night there, enjoy the noises of the creek, all that sort of stuff. The problem comes when after the thaw starts, so after June 1st-ish, the end of May, you have long approaches from the main creek crossing to the pass. Tyndall to Forester is like 5 miles. I think this one to Mather is probably 3 or 4, something like that. But over snow, again, it's 1 mile an hour. So you're talking 3 or 4 hours later, 4 or 5 at Forester, from the time you spent some time crossing this creek before you get to the pass, you got all that snow warming going on. Okay, well, you say, heck Ned, I'm past the creek, what's the big deal? First of all, you don't need to cross there, guys. Let's just take this opportunity in this video. When you get to the South Fork of the Kings River, crossing before Mather, between Pinchot and Mather, don't cross if you're on snow. Go around and up. Stay on the east side of the river. You'll get up to the pass. There's only one way you can go. Problem is, all that snow gets soft. By the time you get up to the pass, now you're post-holing after the thaw starts. So you may have to get up at 3, 4 in the morning, shove off by 4 or 5 in the morning, so you're on hard snow. Well, I'll do it on this side. Hard snow all the way up, so that you get up here by 9. When it's starting to get soft, your feet will start sinking in, maybe about that far. It's not a post hole, but it's starting to soften. So you want to be on hard snow going up. You don't want a post hole going up, but you want to have a slightly soft snow like this for the downhill, so that you can sit down on the snow and glissade, because if the snow is really soft and you sit down and your butt goes in about 2 feet, you're not going anywhere. So you want to get up and over your passes before the snow gets too soft. You want it a little soft, but not too soft to where your butt sinks in a couple feet. And you want to use these glissades. You can drop several thousand feet on a single glissade, just shooting straight down the roller coaster. It's great. So that's your logistics. Now, what happens after Mather, for example? You're going to keep going on down past Palisade Lake, and you're going to drop into a long canyon, and that's probably not the best example. But if you've got, for example, Forester, say you got Forester, then you've got Glen, then you've got Pinchot, and then you got Mather. Here's your camp, here's your camp, here's your camp. There's your camp at Kings River. So you're placing them between the passes. And that's the way you do your logistics with your passes, based on the criteria of creek crossings and the post hole issue. You don't want a post hole going uphill, because all you're doing is floundering. But worse, you don't want a post hole going downhill, because you could end up dislocating your knee or lacerating your legs because the post holing is serious. And you're doing it while you're moving, so your legs post hole, your upper body keeps moving, you bend at the waist, and then it's painful.
What do you do if you get to that point in that situation? Do you camp and wait till morning till it's
No,
crusty,
probably not,
do?
because see, once again, you're above timberline. If the weather's to change, you're exposed. I was camped at the bottom of Forester, right about here, Tyndall Crossing being down here. I was camped right at the base of Forester Switchbacks and got in a nasty windstorm. It wasn't snowing, it wasn't raining, it was blowing. Blew tents flat, broke poles, all that kind of stuff, because we were exposed. So maybe in the summer, maybe in ideal weather, you can have these high exposed campsites. You know, they're gorgeous, beautiful views all night long, incredible stars. But in inclement weather, winterish, springish, not quite summer, where you can almost say, yeah, the storms aren't going to come in very often, maybe once a month rather than one every week, camp down in the trees, camp down at the creek crossing. But when you know you have a long approach, you've got a multi-mile approach at 1 mile an hour on snow, that's when you're getting up early. Because you want to utilize that hard morning snow after the thaw again, because before the thaw, everything's frozen. You can go anywhere, anytime. You don't post hole at all. There's no creeks. There's no worries. It's really great.
So if something has gone wrong and you're in a post-holing nightmare, what do you do?
Flounder through it.
Okay.
You're going to get exhausted. Your joints will start to hurt. You're going to get wet and you're going to get cold.
You just got to keep going.
If you get too bad, yeah, you can pitch there. Hope that you don't have a weather event. I've done it many times. It gets really stupid bad. Like the long approach from Tyndall to Forester is like the 5 or something miles. I've gotten about 3 miles, 3.5 miles into it, and we were post holing to our waist practically. It was absurd. It was just wallow. Forget it. We just camped. Can you? Sure. And we didn't have any wind problems. We didn't have any precipitation. Had a gorgeous night. It was absolutely fantastic. So you can. It's better than getting exhausted, tired. You know, your muscles start cramping. You get hypothermic. You don't have to push through, but keep in the back of your mind that you are exposed. You're above timberline, and it's the time of year where you can have weather come in. So that's the logistics for going through the Sierra, where you have tight passes. Your passes become less tight. In other words, you'll have more miles between the passes after Mather. See, it's Forester, Glen, Pinchot, Mather that are tight. Then you stretch out after Mather to Muir, Selden, then Silver, and they're further apart. You may have a day or two or whatever, you know. The average amount of miles per day for your average snow hiker, 8 to 14. Depending upon weather, depending upon snow conditions, depending upon your abilities. So plan accordingly.